The name of my project is the Automatic Identification of Public Interest in the Field of Audit and Insurance. So one of the terms here that you might not understand is what is public interest. So I'll go over that in just 1 second. There is a global independent oversight body called the PIOB. This is the Public Interest Oversight Board. And what their job is to improve the quality and public interest focus of the international and audit standards formulated by the IAASB, supported and supervised by the International Federation of Accountants. So basically, the IAASB will produce audit standards, and the PIOB has oversight, wants to make sure that these audit standards reflect the interests of everybody. Everybody is the public. So we're talking about auditors, regulators, investors, financial institutions, and corporations, and even others. They are all interested in what auditing standards are produced. And so the PIOB makes sure that what their interests are reflected in the auditing standards, okay? So what do regulators want? What do investors want? What do the big financial institutions want? So this constitutes the public interest, and so that's the PIOB mission, to improve the quality and public interest focus of the IAASB, which issues auditing standards. So in this project, we were asked to go out to the internet and find these websites that reflect the public's interests in all kinds of topics, not just auditing. So we selected 5 main users, including the Investment Association, the International Corporate Governance Network, SIFMA, IOSCO, and ESMA. And they represent all different types of regulators, investors, and users. They have basically broad coalitions of users in their fields, and they'll produce documents expressing what they think about auditing, among many other topics. So we're going to go to these websites, scrape them to get our data. What types of things are we going to get? From the IA.org, we'll get responses and representations to proposed standards, press releases, policy letters, and special moments from the ICGN, common letters, white papers, public reports, media releases, and so on. So from these 5 sources, we downloaded a total of 7,251 documents. Now, these are about all different topics, not just auditing. So first task was to convert these documents to plain text. They were almost all PDFs. So many here have experience converting PDF to plain text. So this is not a big deal. But to standardize the text, because they come in so many different formats, what we did was extract sentences from the text. So this would get rid of headers and footers and addresses and things that just weren't complete sentences. So I just looked for complete sentences in the documents, and that's what became each unit of analysis. I filtered the documents to eliminate those documents that were not related to accounting or auditing at all. So I had 2 different filters. So for the first filter, I compared the documents to a glossary of accounting terms, and I took the documents that had something to do with accounting. And the second filter, I selected documents that had accounting and auditing related topics using an LDA analysis and filter. So in total, I went from 7,000 documents down to about 9%, to about 661 documents that had anything to do with accounting at all. Afterwards, I looked within each document for specific topics. These topics were identified by the PIOB and IFAC as interesting to them. So these are the topics, and let me show you how many topics we found in the documents. So here's a preview of the types of results that I generated. So on the left, I have 5 different topics, and on the right are different excerpts from documents. So I'll just read one. So for audit quality from a document from IOSCO in 2018, I found this sentence. This may provide an effective safeguard that a decision is not unduly influenced by a low audit fee in circumstances where audit quality may be compromised. So I found these types of excerpts from the documents based on the topic that I was interested in, that they were interested in. So here are the most mentioned topics. The top one was accounting estimates. It was in 108 different documents, and I found 287 different mentions, followed by audit quality and accountability, business model, technology. Now, you can see why I had to filter the documents first by ones that were related to accounting, because I was searching for topics like business model and technology, which could relate to any aspect of business, not just accounting and assurance and auditing. So by eliminating irrelevant documents first, I found topics, the topic technology related to hopefully accounting, right? And that was the idea there. For each of the 5 organizations, these were the most significant topics in their document set. So, for example, you can see audit quality was pretty important across across the board for 3 different organizations. But ESMA was really interested in accounting estimates. They're the European Securities Market Authority. So this is just an overview of the results of the topics and how important they were to each of the 5 organizations, the relative importance.
Professor, you have 1 minute left.
Thank you. Yeah. So after finding the topics, I wanted to be able to manually inspect the results. So I built a simple form in Microsoft Access where the PIOB and IFAC could look at the individual sentences I identified and then mark them as relevant or irrelevant. So here's the form. It has several parts to it, including the file name, the year, the text of the sentence and surrounding text, and then a checkbox to say if it's relevant. And they were able to identify, generate these reports of relevant documents based on the topic of audit quality, for example. So the next step is right now, we're generating a web interface for the PIOB, a version of the Microsoft Access form. So the PIOB will be able to release this tool to their employees and also to the general public to search for topics within the documents from these outside organizations. Thank you.